What's up, guys? Welcome to Girlsonfireatx. I'm your host, Samantha.
And I'm your host, Esther.
What's up, girl?
What's up, bees?
Oh, man. How's your week going so far?
Do I have any green matcha in my teeth?
No, you do not.
Okay, good, because this shit is so good, but it's so grainy, and I'm terrified that it's going to
You
be
need to tell them to shake it.
Well,
Shake
Tyler
it.
gets it for me.
Tyler.
No, it's pretty good. It's good. It's just, if it sits too long, it just...
Yeah, no, it just
gets
separates.
Yeah.
It's an insoluble substance.
Yeah.
I learned
Okay.
that yesterday.
So, on today's episode, I thought it would be interesting because we have an episode out that was about sex education, and we did that earlier when we first were like starting the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like there's just so much to talk about in that
That field.
There
absolutely is.
So I figured now that we're on camera, we can do sex education with Sam and Esther. Where's
Part
those?
2.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Where's the soundboard? Where is it?
What do you mean?
Hold on.
Where's the nut button?
Ah, damn it. I don't have no
We
idea.
need that today.
Oh, yes.
So,
yes.
obviously, like, we talk about dating, we talk about boyfriends, we talk about ex-boyfriends, we talk about all kinds of things on this podcast, and Esther and her fucking sounds.
Whoever let me have this is like silly nilly.
But anyways, I was having a conversation with a friend earlier this week, and somehow threesomes got like brought up, and I was like, I texted Esther and I was like, we need to talk about threesomes on this podcast because I think that it's something that if you haven't tried it, you've definitely thought about trying it, and then the rest of you already have tried it, and
it's not what it. At least in my personal opinion, it's not what it's cracked up to be.
Okay, so there's two sides.
Oh, the nut button.
Yes. So there's two sides to this story, the threesome thing that, in my personal opinion, and this is coming from someone who has tried them. I do not think that they are meant for a relationship. I think that that is detrimental to your relationship. And the only reason I say that is because I was in a relationship that I had been in for a while. And the only reason that I agreed to do them is because I was put in a situation that made me think that if I didn't do them, that my boyfriend was going to leave me. And I was in love with this guy, and I thought that's what I needed to do in order to make him happy. So I was willing to like make this sacrifice. Anyone who fucking knows me, I am protective as shit over what belongs to me. Okay?
No.
I do not share.
Nuh-uh.
So even thinking about ever doing it now, I'm like, fuck no. Absolutely not. But that's just because I kind of have a little PTSD from it. But that's fine. But I think that they are fun in the event that it's like you and a girlfriend and like there's some hot guy and you guys are comfortable enough with each other and they like go out and have fun and like it just happens and it's like whatever, you know, like there's no like emotional tie between the three people, right?
Right.
Because the moment that someone has genuine feelings for the third party, whether it be a female or a guy, I think that's when shit gets tricky. And then that's when like shit can go south real quick.
Yeah. Well, also from my experience, also don't have a threesome with your coworkers.
Yeah, no, that's probably not a great idea either.
I will talk about my story because it's so funny. It's not, yeah, it's funny. So I had a threesome with 2 girls.
Okay.
So while it's every guy's fantasy, like, oh my God, you 3 girls fucking each other. Wow, oh my God. It was not with anything that's on Pornhub or like.
It's all a show.
Okay, so this is when I was in Vegas. This is when I started experimenting. Now, I had been with girls before, but like, you know, I'm like, I was just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a bar. I was with 2 of my other coworkers who were female, and we were at this like piano karaoke bar. And for some reason, one of them was curious and asking us questions because me and my other friend, we'll call her Brittany, and then we'll call Ashley the curious one. So Ashley was asking Brittany and I like, hey, like, have y'all ever like been with girls? And so we were like explaining to her like what our experiences were. And she was just like super intrigued. She was also younger. And she's like, well, I've always wanted to like try this and this. And then we're like, all right, let's just take shots. So we kind of like made like an agreement.
These encounters never happen sober. Never.
No, we
never
were wasted.
sober.
So we ended up going to the bathroom to like freshen up and stuff like that. And then Ashley, like, we were all in the big stall because, you know, girls go in the bathroom together. So we were in the big stall, and then it just started forming in the bathroom.
OMG.
And then we were like, what is happening? So as soon as, like, we're pretty much freaking drunk, we ended up, she lived, like, walking distance from the bar. So we ended up, like, just going to her apartment, and she had, like, no furniture in her apartment. It was, like, a little studio apartment. And so all she had, like, it looked like she had just moved in, and she had, like some of her clothes were on the floor, like brand new. She had just moved in. So there was nothing. So we were like in the living room and there's like nothing. So we're just on the floor, like basically coaching each other of what we liked. And it was really fucking awkward.
I can imagine that being way more awkward than if had it been like a dude involved.
It wasn't like an enjoyable sexual experience. I mean, it was more educational than anything.
Yeah.
Because the more experienced one, which was Brittany, was coaching me and Ashley on what to do. And then I was coaching Ashley what to do. And Ashley was just like, she was so into it. And then me and Brittany were looking at each other like, okay, we'll just kind of do it for her.
Yeah.
Like, it was, and then we all worked together. So it was like going to work the next day was just like, hey. Hot,
thankfully,
like
awkward. The girls that I like brought home in these situations, like only one of them was like I friends with, and you know, later finding out I don't really think that she was a genuine friend. I think that her and my boyfriend at the time were like texting behind my back and like using me. Anyways, that's besides the point. But and then the few others were like just random girls that we had met out at the bar. But definitely always drunk. I think the very first time, I think I was rolling. So
oh my God.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like the very first time it happened, because I think, and a lot of it, I can probably say that because I was rolling, like I definitely had it was a very fun, unique experience. The following ones after that were not, because I think that people need to understand that threesomes are about like all three people. And if you are in a relationship and you are open-minded to doing this with your partner, I think the communication between you and your partner needs to be like at the utmost, like not only having respect for each other, but like very communicative and like understanding like what your boundaries are, any rules that you have. And I think having those things set in place before you decide to make these, like do something like that is so fucking important. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing a threesome in a relationship, it's supposed to be something like, and I hate to, you know, that third person is literally just supposed to be a toy in a sense. It's like a human toy. There's supposed to be no emotional attachment. It's supposed to be whatever is comfortable between you and your partner. That's why it's like, that can be like a super tricky thing trying to navigate when you're in a serious committed relationship. And I will say that like in the time frame that I was experimenting with all of that stuff, the guy that I was dating, we used to go to this nudist colony. I can't remember what the fuck it was called though, but we used to go and hang out by the pool with like these people that were all swingers, and they were all in like, they lived in this nudist colony where like people literally walked around nude. And I made friends with some like super cool older couples that had been like, that had just started, but they were like in their 50s and 60s, and they were literally, not 60s, they were probably like 40s, 50s, but they were literally like, at the time, like they had just started and they had been married for 25, 30 years. Like, so there was something that they were doing because they wanted to spice up their relationship. The guy, I mean, I was like 23, I think, when I dated this guy, you know, so obviously it was like a very long time ago. And he was older than me. He was 11 years older than me. Was I 20? I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But you know, like we had only been dating for like a year and a half. So it was like, bro, if you really need to bring other people in the relationship at that point, there might be a problem. But I think it can be fun in the right setting with the right people under the right circumstances.
Yeah. You don't ever want to make the mistake, especially like what I did when I was with somebody, especially because I was younger and like people were starting to get more experience and all that stuff, of pushing a threesome to be the cool girlfriend.
No.
To be the one like,
not.
yo, like, I want to be the cool girlfriend that you brag about to your friends. Because I definitely tried to do that a lot in, like, my relationship with Draco Malfoy. I really tried to do that. And while I was for it, like quite a bit of times because I was wasted.
Yeah.
When I really boiled down to was I never wanted him to leave me because we were in a long distance relationship.
100%.
So it was a myth to be the cool girlfriend because the minute that I would make cool comments or like say, hey, do threesome, he would brag about me to all his friends. So it's kind of like an ego boost, but also like a security thing.
See, and on the other side of that.
But then the pressure starts coming in.
Yep. Well, and then that's on the other side of that. What started happening is every time me and this guy would go out, I can't remember my nickname for him right now. Master Manipulator, I think is what it was. But he would, we'd be out with our friends, like my close friends that really didn't even know that I was doing this because I was too embarrassed to tell them that like the reason we were doing it is because I didn't want him to leave me. And he would start like flirting with other girls at the bar and then like have them come up to me and be like, oh, your boyfriend said that you like girls and you guys like bring girls home. And I'm like so caught off guard. And like, I'm like,
oh my God,
fuck. And so it like puts you in a position where it's like, again, in a relationship, it's to be something that you and your partner choose together. Like he under no circumstance should be walking around flirting with girls, making them think that he's semi-single, and then all of a sudden drop the bomb. Oh, I have a girlfriend, but she's okay with it. No, the fuck I'm not.
It has to be like on your terms.
Yes.
But yes. So Draco Malfoy would do that. And he'd be like, hey, babe, I met this girl. She's down. And I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, like, again. And
because it would be a friend of a friend. I'd be like, no, like, if we're going to do this, it has to be somebody we don't know or we're not friends with.
Like, that's the whole point. It's like, I don't want this bitch contacting me. I'll fucking kill her. Not really. Just kidding. Totally kidding. But it is. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact, like, for me personally, I was not ever okay with it. I did it because I was forced into a situation. I was manipulated by the guy I was dating into thinking that that's what I needed to do in order for our relationship to survive. Like he had me convinced that the only way we would end up together and be together, and because he was the one that would be like, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to marry you. I'm going to marry you. And of course I was young. I had just had Sage. Like he was older. He already had a kid. So it was like in my brain, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm going to get that happily ever after like I've always wanted. So it's like, okay, well, if I want this guy to marry me, I have to do these things for him.
That's why he's called the master manipulator.
Yes.
He manipulated you into having the fairy tale ending.
But I had to bring girls home.
Yeah, have other princesses in the room.
Yeah, but since then, he's like apologized and like, you know, he has.
As he should.
Yeah, and he's like really genuinely addressed the fact that like those things are wrong and that like he and he tried to blame it on like his like antidepressants or something or another, which I have no fucking idea. So, I mean, it's in the past. It was like almost 10 years ago. It's not a big deal anymore. But, you know, on the topic of sex, you know, like I think that threesomes are, again, like they can be fun under the right circumstances, you know, depending on like who you're doing it with. I have never heard of and or had a conversation with someone who's ever, because like when you think of threesome, right, I think 2 girls and 1 guy.
Yeah, that's usually what I think.
Yeah, so like
it's
because
like,
to me, if it's 2 guys and 1 girl, unless the guys are like bisexual, like to me that's a train. Like they run in a train on you, girl. That's not a threesome.
That's a magical.
Is that
like
just
Six
is that
Flags
my
ride?
I'm curious to know. Like, I'm genuinely curious. I'm not trying to like bash this because I'm sure that like, but like, is it still considered a threesome, guys? If it's 2 guys and 1 girl, like
yes, because it's 3 people in engaging in sexual activity.
That's just weird to me. It just seems like a train.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
could be
like
3 dudes. It could be 2 guys, 1 girl. It
Yeah.
could be 3 girls. It can be 2 guys and a girl, like, or 2 girls and a guy. Like, it's 3 people that are engaging in sexual activity that is considered a threesome.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go into like the foursome, then you add 4 individuals.
That's way too much.
No,
That's only happened. Okay, let me rewind.
Wait,
Let me just
whoa.
rewind really quick.
Have you had a foursome?
No, but yes. So there was a couple once in that relationship that I was in. There was a couple that were swingers. They were like full-blown swingers. They actually just got married. I saw that on Facebook recently.
Congratulations to them.
Correct. But, and then like they're totally okay with it. It's the lifestyle they live, whatever. Well, the girl was interested in me. So like the conversation was brought up like, hey, like swapping and all. And I, at that point I told the guy I was dating, I was like, I am absolutely not comfortable whatsoever with her boyfriend having sex with me. Like abso-fucking-lutely not. That's fucking weird. Like I could not handle that. So like we had sex next to each other and like she would, you know, intertwine with us, but like he never touched me, thank God. Ugh. The thought of it now.
That's technically still foursome because that's
know.
4 people engaging in sexual activity.
I know. What's not the point I'm trying to make here?
Sam, you are, wow. You're very experienced.
Oh. You know, though, but like I don't ever talk about this to people because my personal business is my personal business. But I mean, it sucks because it's
Except you just like,
well, I know, but this because at the end of the day, like, you know, we are sharing our life experiences, and it's not something that I would just tell a straight. Well, it's not something I would tell a stranger. Hey, strangers, how are you? No, but I don't know. It's just not something that like I'm like, oh yeah, I don't walk around just telling everybody and their mom. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. And again, at the same time too, like let's also not forget that I was like completely manipulated into this situation. It wasn't something that I necessarily did by voluntary choice.
Would you do it again in the future?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So it was an experience you experienced, and
I
that's
mean,
what you
realize
and like, that you don't like it.
Again, and like I said at the beginning of all of this, like at the end of the day, like I know now after experiencing it and after having done these things that like I'm not comfortable with it because, well, at least if I was in a relationship, I would not be comfortable with it because too many negative things come into my mind because the whole time I'd be thinking, do they know each other? Did they plan this behind my back? Are they going to talk to each other after this? Is he going to leave me for her? Like, those are going to be the instant thoughts. Like, just right now, thinking about it, like, oh my God, it would just be too traumatizing for me. And it would bring up all of the old memories of, like, all of that and, like, what that did to me. And I just wouldn't be able to put myself in that situation.
Feel that.
Now, if I was, like, out with a girlfriend and like I'm single, like, you know, and it was something that just happened and like I had no idea who this fucking person was and was never going to see him again, I can't say that I may or may not. I don't know. I have no idea. But in a relationship, absolutely not.
Oh, yeah. I say this now that I don't think threesomes are like something that I would do just because that one experience that I had was just so fucking awkward.
Yeah.
I laugh about it because it was like very comical.
I think
now I can't say that like in 10 years I won't want to dabble in that to spice up my love life.
And I think like too, especially in that situation, you know, like here's the thing is I can look at a woman and I can genuinely appreciate her beauty, right? Like I mean, it took me a while to get to this point. But, like, I don't get jealous. I don't get insecure. Like, I might have moments where I'm like, God, she's so fucking pretty. Like, it's not fair. Jesus Christ.
I do the same thing.
You know, but, like, I can genuinely appreciate the fact that us as women, like, we are beautiful creatures. Am I sexually attracted to women? No, I'm not. And, like, that's something else that I think that is also, like, I would never be able to genuinely have, like, a threesome with 3 women because that wouldn't turn me on. Like, that doesn't sound like, you know, that's not sexual to me. That'd be really fucking weird.
I would if it was like Megan Fox and Kourtney Kardashian.
See, and like even that doesn't even no.
Actually, maybe not Kourtney Kardashian. Definitely Megan Fox.
Because when it comes to like sex for me with my partner, like I enjoy turning him on. Like that, I love that. That is something like I love pleasing the man. So it's like I think when I did it for him, it was fun in that moment because I knew that the act itself was turning him on.
Right.
So therefore it turned me on because I was turning him on. So it wasn't even that I was like into the girl sexually. It was just more or less that it was a fun experience because I was turning my boyfriend on.
Right.
So.
Well, speaking of turning on, I think that's also a really big like topic to talk about. Is,
absolutely.
Like foreplay.
Oh my God. People underestimate foreplay.
Yes.
Especially guys for women. Sorry, guys. Yeah. You guys can just like get hard and want to go. And it's like, okay, I need to like a little bit of fluffing before we can do anything.
So I have this term I came up with Tyler. I'm sorry.
As he leaves the
As
room.
he's leaving the room. Okay. Oh my
That's
gosh.
funny.
Nothing is more awkward than talking about your sex life while your boyfriend's in the room just staring at you.
It's fine.
Hi, honey. Shit. All right. So I came up with this term. It's called check the hood. So, like, there's a part in, like, the vagina where it's, like, there's, like, a little hood area.
That covers the clitoris, yes.
Clitoris. That's usually where, at least for me, it's, like, super stimulating.
I think for every female. I mean, if it's not,
right.
I'm sorry for you.
Because I think, like, when you, like, start exploring the vagina, just rubbing around it, it doesn't really do much. But if you get right underneath the clitoris and you know just the right place to just kind of massage it, so it's like, you just kind of know how to do it. So I call it checking under the hood. So just make sure you check under the hood.
So you got to turn your hand towards the camera.
Okay.
There you go.
So you just got to make sure that you're just checking the hood and then just watch the body reaction.
Yeah.
If it's stimulating, motherfucker, keep going. Like,
yeah.
Just, that's, to me, that's more stimulating than, like, fingering and stuff. But if you're doing that simultaneously with fingering, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people underestimate that, because I have had, and this isn't anything that has to do with Tyler, but in the past when I was dating around in the city of Austin, it's like they didn't know what the fuck a vagina was.
I mean,
they would be like, jackhammer in my vagina. I'd be like, ow, motherfucker.
It's like, that doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't. And then it's like, you have sex, and then it's like 30 seconds, and then you're done. And then they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. Like, you're so tight. Like, and I'm just like,
glad it was good for you, bro.
yeah. And it's like, I have to go home and finish
I think it's super important, whether it
foreplay is important.
Yeah. Well, if it's a one-night stand or you're dating this person or you're in a relationship with this person, it might sound taboo. It might be uncomfortable. But I think that it opens your relationship up, or your potential relationship, or the one-night sexual experience. If you guys have a conversation about what turns you on, what do you like, what do you not like, instead of having that awkward first time sex where it's like uncomfortable for everybody involved because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you like, you don't know what's going to turn them on, or they don't know what's going to turn you on. Well, to me, I'm like, what's the point of even having sex if I'm going to have to, like,
well, not to discredit that, but a lot of times, like, if you're dating in the city of Austin, you usually go out, especially like if you meet them online or whatever, you usually go out, you usually have drinks, and then usually you just kind of get horny right after. So there's not really much to talk about, because it's like you don't know if it's actually going to happen or if it's just going to happen naturally. So there's not really much time to have that communication, at least from my personal experience.
Well, it doesn't have to be some drawn out conversation.
No, but it's like if you're with someone like in a relationship wise, definitely communicate.
Yeah.
And I will give it to Tyler. We do communicate a lot. Like there's times where, like, after we've had sex where he's just like, so what did you like? What didn't you like? What, like,
I need a 5-star page essay
on what was good. Do you want me to do this more? Do you want me to do this? Like, and I'm like, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do this? And like, I think that's the coolest thing ever, because that's the first time in any relationship that I've ever been in where it's like, it's communicated.
Well, to me, it just makes the sex so much better because you guys you understand each other. So it's like the sex is supposed to be enjoyable. If you're not having orgasms and they're not doing something that you like and you don't fucking tell them, like, I can't read your mind, you can't read mine. Don't expect, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's something I definitely recommend to people. I'm like, communicate and just be like, hey, babe, I don't like that. Can you, like, stop doing that?
Yeah.
No. Or like, just, you don't have to use words. Take their hand and move it. just move it.
Mira aquí.
Yeah.
Aquí.
Mira aquí.
Check hood. Picky. But another thing too is like also like talking about, and also not like kind of normalizing also, like when you're under a lot of stress, that you're not sexually as active as you were when you're not on stress, because that's something that I've been experiencing, that I like the more that I'm under stress, the less sexually active that I want to be.
Yeah.
And I think that not a lot of people talk about that.
Well, I think that people, that also for me personally, I think that a lot also comes with like understanding yourself and your body, and like exploring your own sexuality within yourself, because like, this is so TMI. I'm sorry, guys. But like, I know that like sometimes I will randomly be horny and like, or if I'm in a bad mood and I'm like, you know what? I just need to like go masturbate really quick and then I'm fucking fine. You know, like I just like let out like whether it's aggression or like sometimes I just need to like masturbate and I'm fine. And I'm like, okay, now I'm better, you know? Cause then even if I'm like, for some reason super horny and I'm like, fuck, why am I so horny? I just need to like masturbate real quick and I'm like, okay, I'm calm now. I can think straight.
No more crazy thoughts. Yeah,
I think that's important.
I think that's also super important too, because masturbation is completely healthy, and I think that every girl should like not be so shy or like be like, what? No, every girl should fucking do it. I was doing it just about every single day, but the more that I was like piling on certain things in my own personal life, the less that I wasn't masturbating, and the less that I wasn't even engaging in sexual activity, even though I was in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's something that I couldn't even figure out. Like, it was pretty detrimental to my own mental health and trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with me. Like, being sexual is something that is super feminine and is super
like we were made.
It's empowering, right?
We were made to be sexual and beautiful and like
we were made to procreate.
And,
and the act of procreating is like tapping into our like super feminine like sexuality. Yeah. So imagine like going a month, not even like thinking about the idea, but then going like a whole month, like wanting that, like going a whole month, like every day masturbating or engaging in some kind of sexual activity, and then going a month without doing that. It takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't talk about it enough, because I was trying to do some research and I only found one account on TikTok that was talking about it, that it's like, it's normal. Like if you're under like extreme amount of stress.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what hormones, like, you know.
It's a hormone imbalance.
Yeah, is really what it is, which can be solved with like natural supplements as well to help with that. But
mine has been more meditating.
Yeah.
But it was also like trying to communicate with my partner too. Like being like, hey, like
it
has nothing to do with you. I promise you. Even though in their brain, like if I was in their shoes, be like, oh my God, they're cheating on me.
I mean, how
There's
many
somebody
times
else in the picture?
Tyler, I know you're not necessarily on this episode in a microphone, but how many times in your lifespan of sexual activity have you not been able to get hard and it had nothing to do with the girl and everything to do with you? Like, I think that guys don't like, and women take it personally, you know?
0.
Oh my goodness.
Are you serious?
God damn it. You're no help. Jesus. I mean, okay, I can say from experience, like in relationships when I've been with, like, there's been someone, whether it was alcohol involved or not, like, there's been times where, like, I've gone to have sex with my boyfriend that I was dating at the time, and, like, he's like, I'm so sorry, it has nothing to do with you. Like, they were just, like, stressed out, and they were, like, or they were tired or whatever, and they just, and it just happens. And it's, like, you have to learn how to, like, navigate your own body.
Right. Wait, is that since you're a male, Tyler, is that something that does happen to males? Like, huh?
Yeah, like whether or not it was like stress or tired.
Going gummy is definitely a big thing. Like whenever you're stressed, you can't really get hard.
Yeah.
The fucking dick wipes. The first time me and her had sex, I went gummy, and luckily she was a good sport about it. But it happens. It happens a lot.
Okay, see? So that, I mean, that was
sex life is exposed.
And that's the thing is, like, as women, obviously we don't have something that goes erect, right? Like for us, it can be something as simple as not being able to get wet and being dry.
There's been a couple of times recently where it's happened to me, and I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah. The amount of, well, I don't want to say the amount of times, but there's definitely been a few times for sure that, like, I've been so close to climaxing and it's like never fucking happens. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I get so irritated because I'm like, yes, it feels fucking great, but why can't I come? This is fucking annoying.
Yeah. I definitely have had that too. But it's just like, I think sometimes, like, especially if you're like super stressed out, that it's okay if you're not actually like active. It's totally okay.
Yeah.
Because like I literally was like in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not like desirable, I'm not that big of a woman, like blah blah blah. Like I literally was self-destructing my own thoughts, but all I had to do was communicate it with Tyler, and thank God he is such an understanding person, because he just looked at me and he goes, that's okay, thank you for communicating that with me. And didn't make me feel bad about it. It was just kind of like, I literally was putting way more pressure on myself too, because I'm like, oh my God, like if I don't have like like enough sex with him, like because like the sex was like declining because of my stresses. I'm like, he's gonna leave me.
No,
but thank God he has reassured me that he's like, it's okay.
And I also want to talk about something that's super important. It might be like a little bit of a mood kill for a second. I also want to make it very fucking clear, whether you are a man or a woman in a relationship, if you make your partner feel bad for not wanting to have sex because they're not in the mood, and then you force them to have sex with you, that is a form of rape. You know that, right?
Yes.
Like, so like, I don't care if you guys have been together for 5 years. When you start forcing your partner, guilting your partner into having sex with you because they're not in the mood and you want to have sex, like, that's not okay. So like, go masturbate in the other fucking bedroom, go watch some goddamn porn and figure it the fuck out on your own. Because I've been in that situation, and it sucks because, like, at the time, obviously, you chalk it up to, like, oh, well, it's my boyfriend, and, like, if I don't give him sex, he's going to go out and find it somewhere else, right? Like, that's the thought that goes through your mind. So, like, you end up putting yourself in a situation where it's like you're not in the mood, you're not really wanting to do it, but you're doing it anyways. Like, that's not okay. I just want to, like, throw that out there because I think that a lot of people in general don't realize that, like, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that forcing your partner to have sex with you when you're not in the mood is okay, because it's not.
Right. Tyler has never once ever made me feel like that.
Yeah.
That's a man right there. But that's not to say that I haven't had other boyfriends that make me feel that way.
And
I've gaslit myself into thinking that, oh, it's my fault.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's, again...
which is where all my thoughts were trickling down to.
It literally turns back into fear of, if I don't give it to them, are they going to go out and find it from somebody else?
Yep.
Which ultimately...
Insecurities start kicking in, you know.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, unfortunately, all of my boyfriends I've ever dated have all cheated on me. So they were going to do it anyways. But it just, you know, it feeds into that fear.
Damn it, I don't have a boo button. I was going
know.
to say boo. Here, hold on.
Fucking douchebags.
Boo.
It's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're not going to get into relationships, so it's neither here nor there.
No.
The point is I just wanted to throw that out there because I think it's super important to make aware. And, like, if you're out there and you're listening and it's happened to you, I just want you to be aware of it. And, like, I don't want you to think that you're the only person that it's happening to. I don't want you to think that, like, you have to do it, because you don't.
We'll deep dive down to that in a different
episode.
episode.
A whole different episode. But I just want to, like, lightly touch on that for everyone that's listening today.
Yes. The two...
Ooh, I got something we can continue this with.
Oh, what is it?
What is your favorite position?
Okay, this is easy. Because it's like... all the time I'm like, Tyler. And then he's like, all right, I know what you want.
Yeah.
I love being on top.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
That is my fucking favorite position.
It's like, okay. It's kind of like there's a tie between two. Like, missionary in a certain way, I've learned recently, with my legs in a certain position. It's fucking great. I come the easiest when I'm on top.
God, I feel like a fucking goddess.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like you kind of have the control of the way that your body's working, right? So it's like you have control over how many times you're able to orgasm.
Well, oh my God. Well, because I'm only having sex with Tyler.
Okay, wait, really quick. Ouch. Really quick. Ladies, the ladies that are listening, I know this is intimate and I know it's crazy, but comment below what your favorite position is. I want to know if it's all women that have the favorite position being on top, or if it's just like, if you guys got other positions. I want to know. Let us know. Comment below. Okay.
Yes. My favorite is being on top, because this is so TMI. I'm so sorry, Tyler.
I feel like
both of our families are going to listen to this and like, we know what they do.
I mean, it's just,
you know what? I'm being public. So I like when he grabs my waist.
Yes.
I'm on top, grabs my waist, looks at me, and I'm just, and then he kisses my titties.
This has got to be an all women
It's
thing.
my fucking favorite,
because
I feel like such a woman, because he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, enjoying it, and then I'm watching him enjoy it.
Yep.
And instantly, it's the best orgasm ever.
Yep.
It's my fucking favorite.
You like took the words out of my mouth.
It's great.
Like, literally, step for step. No. Guys, I need to know your favorite positions. Like,
Tyler,
what
What's your favorite?
What do you enjoy the most?
I don't know why we just didn't have him come on.
I know we should have just did it.
Come
we
here.
talked about it.
Come to mommy.
Well, we want to hear it from your mouth.
Hear it from you.
We want to hear it off of your lips.
Well, mine is the same as yours, and that's why it terrified me. I was like, there's no way I'm lasting more than 5 seconds, because she's like, let me just get on and cowboy, and I'm like, oh fuck, she's gonna cowgirl. It's like, this is.
What about reverse cowgirl?
I don't like that.
Really?
You told me you liked it.
I do.
So did you lie?
No, you got an eyelash right here.
Okay, great distraction.
Is that hot sauce?
What? I had hot sauce on my face.
I did not see hot sauce on your face.
Okay, way to just
But
you lied.
No, I didn't lie. It's just, it's like dope seeing.
It's
your
just not
ass,
his
but
favorite position.
It's not my favorite because I'm a intimate kind of dude, so I like looking you in the eyes while it happens.
That is true. We know each other's secrets.
See, communication, guys. That's what's important.
Seriously. I think it's really hot too. Like after we're done, he's like, "So
there's something
did you
about
like
eye
this?"
connection, like
especially
eye
if we
contact.
try new things.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of he looks into my soul.
I think eye connection. Why do I keep saying connection? Eye contact deepens the connection. Thank you, Samantha. Words are always hard. Where is our T-shirts for that? By the way, we need to make some T-shirts that say words are hard.
No, I will. Speaking of which I will, I guess, in a little bit. But continue. Before I distract myself, actually, I'll just say it now since I already talked about it. Might as well get it out in the air. We have launched www.girlsonfireatx.com.
Officially, we have a .com.
Yeah, we officially have our own domain name or domain page. And on the domain page, we have merch for you guys to buy. And I'm actually creating new T-shirts that have just sayings that you can wear at work and stuff.
Yeah, our favorite things to say, like words are hard.
Words are hard. It's funny because my favorite is I work here, even though Dirty Bills just unleashed that T-shirt. Promise I'm not copying them, but I already had it pre-made before it came out. I came up with a bunch of funny simple bar sayings that people can wear, cut them into crop tops, and just wear them to work.
We're gonna have hoodies because it is getting into winter time.
We do have hoodies. We have cropped hoodies. We have boxer briefs. We have fanny packs. We have backpacks. We even have our own manifestation journal if you're interested in that. And
so definitely check it out.
All the proceeds go to us to continue to do the podcast.
Correct. Abso-friggin-lutely.
And I wanted to shout out to Brandon because he was our first customer.
He's always our first.
I know. He is the best. I have to talk about him because he's so important. I know that this is on a sex podcast. I am so sorry. Brandon, I used to work with him at this bar on Rainy Street. And we had worked together for quite a brief time before we actually started getting to know each other. We ended up starting to work Wednesdays together, and it was just me and him. And was the more that we were starting to talk, the more that we realized we had a lot in common. He's a single dad of 2 kids. He served in the Army. And he's just an honest, good-hearted person. And anybody that has goals and ambitions, he's the first person to support. I told him years ago about me wanting to do a podcast, and he's super been encouraging. And then when we did it, he was literally number one, everything. When I did my band, he was the first person to buy a T-shirt. When we released merch, he was the first person to buy a Girls on Fire shirt. He also bought a hat. And
these aren't the ones that we advertise on our site though, right?
No, these were made from Stitch Fits.
Correct.
We do
have a few of those left, or no?
Oh, okay. We have 2 left.
I gave the one I had to my sister.
I think I have one that you can have.
Okay. Off topic, but
yeah. So, anyways, he has just just been the biggest supporter, and that's just the thing is that he has gone and supported everybody else that has been in contact with his life about their goals and their dreams and anything, and I think that's just such a wonderful characteristic to have in someone. And Brandon is a near dear friend of mine. Anything that I know that when I had COVID, it was in the work group chat. He's like, what do you need, Esther? He came and dropped off DayQuil and NyQuil and some snacks for me. And then he's like, I hope you feel better. There was no like intention behind it.
Yeah.
There was nothing like against it. He just genuinely cares about the people close to him.
I think that people underestimate like how easy it is to support somebody with a small business. Because at the end of the day, this is what this is, right? We have a small business. We do a podcast. And if you can't afford to buy merchandise, if you genuinely aren't interested in our merchandise, just repost it. How hard is it for you to hit that little arrow button on Instagram, the little arrow button, and then just like share it a story, or like share it to somebody that you know might be interested, because that means more to us almost than buying the merchandise.
Yeah,
it's because like our whole goal here is to be shared with the world. Like we ultimately want people in every city, in every state to know who we are, because we're trying to share something here. So it's like, it's not even about the merchandise. It's not even about, you know, spending money on us. It's about supporting us. And that's as simple as sharing a post, whether it be on your story, your Facebook page, or whatever, because social media, as everyone is aware in this day and age, is like, that's how people run businesses anymore.
Yeah. And I'm going to give a huge shout out to him, because he's always, anytime we've had an event, he's the first to post. He's the first to buy a ticket. And he's always like, when the website wasn't even officially launched, he's our first customer.
Yeah.
And he's just such a wonderful human being. And I just love him. And thank you to Brandon. You the man.
Now back to our regular scheduled programming.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, so we're going to get into some fun, stupid, crazy questions. Do you have sex toys?
Yes.
How many do you have?
Like 5.
Did you know that in the state of Texas, it's illegal to own more than 3? I mean, I think not 3, 6. They passed like a law.
Well, bitch, if I have more than 5, you better not out me. None of y'all better out me.
She has 1.
For legal purposes, I only have 1.
What is the craziest sex toy you've ever bought?
Okay, so I wouldn't say it's the craziest sex toy I've ever had. It was my first sex toy that I ever bought. And this is so funny. So I was in college, and I was living with these 3 other girls. And so it's like four girls living in this, what we called the Blue House on 3rd Street. We lived in this cute little like house, and it honestly was like the funnest like living experience I've ever had with anybody. So as we were getting into like our womanhood and all that stuff, we started like kind of like having like those like late night like heart to hearts where we'd watch Grey's Anatomy, like drink lots of wine, do face masks, and we like start talking about boys and sex and all that shit. And so we kind of came to the conclusion that like me and like I think it was like 3 other girls like didn't own any sex toys. So we all decided as like a roommate thing that we were gonna go to the sex store to go buy sex toys. So we all got matching sex toys. Terrible idea, but it was just really funny. We all got like the same purple like rabbit. It was like $20. We were poor, so it was like all we could afford. And it was just really funny because like we like had our initial like on the bottom.
Yeah,
of, like,
you would have to, so you make sure you don't get them confused with one another.
But it was funny because like I would catch like 2 of them in like so we had 2 bathrooms. So like 2 girls would share one bathroom, and then the other like me and another girl would share another bathroom. So it's funny because like sometimes we would like alternate and going into different bathrooms, and sometimes I'd go into like the other girl's bathroom. It would be like. It was funny because all 3 girls, their first name starts with an H. So they actually had to write their names. All I had to do was put an E on mine. But it's funny because I would see like, which is even more ironic because 2 girls have the same name. I would love to name drop them, but I can't. But I mean, I'm going to ask permission. But it was just funny because like they had their sex toys in the shower. I would catch them like out and about, and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's so-and-so's and that's so-and-so's because her name's on it. And it was just so nonchalant. I thought that was just like the funniest like crazy experience. I've just bought basic stuff. I have never bought.
Yeah, no, I can't say I've bought anything crazy.
Honestly, none of them really appeal to me other than like the little bullet. See, that is my favorite.
That was the first one I ever had, and I actually bought my first like little vibrator from a sex party. A girlfriend of mine was getting married, and she had like a little sex party, and so like I bought something from the lady there, and it came with like this like, I say glove, it's not a glove, but came with this like jelly thing that you could put on top of the bullet, and it had like textured on it, but then it also had a piece that could go around like the penis, so that like you could like, it it could be used for both couples.
Like a cock ring?
Kind of.
Okay.
So like you put it around him and then
okay, TMI. Have you ever used a cock ring while being on top?
Well, just that little thing that I had.
Did it heighten your experience more?
Well,
because I fucking love it.
Well, yes, because it's a vibrator, and so like the vibrator, the little bullet was like sitting on my clit, you know, obviously like that. That made it so much more fun.
Exactly. For Christmas one year for like a white elephant, I ended up getting like that 50 Shades of Grey like sex kit. I gave away the butt plug because I'm just not into anal, and some other girl wanted it.
Yeah.
And so it had like an eye mask, like a little feather, nipple clamps, a bullet.
You ever
seen my dog ended up chewing my bullet fucking noodle.
You ever seen 40 Days and 40 Nights?
No.
It is a super old movie. Have you ever seen it, Tyler? Okay. List of movies y'all need to fucking watch. Am I old or something? Great movie. But it's about this guy. I forget his name, the actor's name. Actually, I need to look it up because it's very imperative for this conversation.
What is it? Is it a sex movie?
Kind of.
Like 365 that was on Netflix?
So it is so it's Josh Hartnett. It says Matt Sullivan, in quotation, Josh Hartnett, his last big relationship ended in disaster, and ever since his heart's been aching, his commitment's been lacking. So his friends came in, and they told him basically that he's not allowed to have sex whatsoever for 40 days and 40 nights. Well, he meets this girl, and he ends up, like, really liking her and wanting to have sex with her, obviously, but they can't have sex because he's, like, in this bet with his friends. And so, like, he has these flowers. I think that they're lilies. And he, like, literally, like, drags them across her body as she's laying on the floor. It's, like, a super intimate scene in the movie where, like, the music and the candles, and it's, like, sexual. And, like, she basically, like, orgasms just from him, like, playing with this flower all over her body. And mind you, she's naked in this scene. So, like,
and
obviously.
He can't fuck her?
He cannot fuck her. Great scene, though. I don't know why you said feather, and that's what it reminded me of. Great fucking movie.
I definitely want to watch that.
It's old as fuck. I mean, it's, like, what is it? It's from 2002, but it's a rom-com.
Okay.
So it's really good.
It.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your craziest sex toy you've ever gotten?
I mean, just that. I've always only ever had like little vibrators. I've never actually had like dildos. My mother, on the other hand, I will never fucking forget.
No.
My mom had a drawer of them, like shapes, sizes, colors. Vibrating, not vibrating, and I'm like, Jesus, Mom, how many do you fucking need? But I just remember the first time that I found, it was like literally she had a whole fucking drawer. It was very intimidating as a child when I found that. I was like, what in the fuck? To me, I'm not so much into dildos. Like, they just seem kind of impersonal to me. I'm like, it's not the same. At least with a vibrator, like, I know what I'm doing, and it's like, you know, fuck, within 5 minutes, I'm able to make myself come. With, like, a fucking dildo, I'm like, it's just kind of weird. Like, the thought of a dildo weirds me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just have the real thing.
Me too.
I'm not really into dildos. Person. Yeah, I'm not really into the dildos.
Yeah.
Never bought one, though.
There was a girl that I used to work with back in Arizona, and she was wild. She had a giant... It was notorious. Like, we made a cocktail out of her because she was a bartender. We made a drink after her dildo. She had a double-sided pink dildo. It was huge because she used to, like, bring girls to the room.
Yeah.
She was huge on threesomes. But I think it was generally because she wanted it and she initiated it.
I mean, some people like that stuff. And
some people like it.
Totally okay.
But she had this giant double pink-sided dildo, and it was massive. And she also had a giant other pink dildo that was suction cup, because I remember one time I had to use a bathroom, and it was just on her fucking, like, bathroom wall.
I couldn't imagine, like, what if your family came over and, like, they went to go use the bathroom and they just, like, there's a dildo stuck in the wall?
My mother would have a fucking heart attack, and she would probably, like, do some ritual cleanse.
She'd probably, like, burn it, set it on fire.
My dad would act like it never happened.
I didn't see it.
I don't want to talk about my parents right now. It's like we're having this conversation, honestly.
I like,
kind of awkward.
Well, for me, like, my mother was a very sexual person, and, like, I'm learning now as an adult that it was literally not okay that some of the shit that, like, she exposed us to at such a young age. However, neither here nor there. It happened. It's here now. You know, my mother was very open with us as kids about sexuality and having sex. And like, it's crazy because my sister and I were talking about this the other day. My mother used to like literally not coach us in the sense that like she'd be there while the act was happening, but she used to try to tell us how to give head to make sure that we were doing it right.
What?
Yes, girl. My mother was a little bit. I love her. I love her. I love you, Mom. But yeah, my mother literally used to like tell us what to do so that we were doing it right.
God, my mom was the opposite.
Yeah, no.
My mom is like the
That's
Virgin
why I'm
Mary.
so fucked up.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine.
Ah.
Okay. I think that as soon as we started talking about our parents,
I know,
think that's the final
mood.
draw.
I mean, we're almost,
That's okay. On that note, make sure to follow Girlsonfireatx on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Check out our new webpage, so girlsonfireatx.com. And then make sure to stay tuned every Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time for new episodes.
Forget to click that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Okay.
Correct. We love you guys. Ciao.